The book does a good job of explaining unit of analysis, as well as the ebook also does a really good job. But I want to just take a couple of minutes and just just give you an example of what a unit analysis is and why it's important. So the unit of analysis is that entity that we want to describe or analyze in our research. In each research, the researcher has to choose his or her unit of analysis. And this is the important part here. In other words, you have to decide about whom we are drawing inferences about and what population we're generalizing to. This is really important for why the unit of analysis is important. You need to know what you want to generalize about. And once you know that, you will determine what you will generalize from. So are we making an inference about individuals, or are we making an inference about neighborhoods? Are we making an inference about political parties? That kind of thing. So an inference, and you'll need to know this word because you'll see it again throughout your career. An inference is a conclusion on the basis of evidence and reasoning. If I see crumbs on the kitchen counter, I can infer that my son was up late at night again and got into food and didn't clean up. Okay, so you're looking at evidence and you draw an inference. You assume what has happened based on the evidence. Generalization, also a very important term that you're going to see throughout your career. It's a statement about a group of people based on just a few people, like doing a sampling. Okay, and then you're going to generalize to the population. There's two levels of unit of analysis, the individual level and the aggregate level. Again, I think it's covered pretty well in the text and the ebook. All of the data from surveys and pollings are individual levels. And by the way, we're not just talking about people. You can have individual levels. An executive order could be the unit of analysis, executive order by governors. The number of times a word is used in the Daily Show on a given day, like they refer to Fox News all the time. So I might make the unit of analysis a particular word. Anytime you're going to the aggregate level, when you're talking about a collection of individuals, such as an average or a percent, you're at the aggregate level. When you're comparing counties or states or nations, that's at the aggregate level. Overall voters for one candidate or another is an aggregate level unit of analysis. So you could say those who, that population who voted for Barack Obama tend to X, or that population who votes Republican tends to X. Okay, that's aggregate level. So for example, let's compare the same question testing at the individual level and the aggregate level. So for example, we want to know how much attention African societies pay to the problem of malaria. At the individual level, we could survey individual citizens in several countries and ask them about their attitudes about malaria. At the aggregate level, we could compare different countries in Africa and their spending on the problem of malaria. In a second example, let's say we want to study the relationship between income and crime. At the individual level, we could survey people about their income and their crime history. At the aggregate level, we could get the gross domestic product per capita for each county in North Carolina and compare that with the number of crimes each year in that county.